Hi friends, Zoe here. Today I want to talk to you about something that has been on my mind for quite a while, and I'm still not exactly sure how I wanted to piece this together, and I didn't really make notes for this video, but it's been on my mind, like I said, for a while. So today I want to talk to you about minimalism, luxury, and the law of attraction. So let's get started. So minimalism, luxury, and the law of attraction. Minimalism tends to be quite a touchy subject here on YouTube because many people like to voice their opinions and sometimes people aren't very nice. So that is why I have steered off the path of minimalism a little bit, but I still try to talk about it here and there and create videos. And in ZOVEMBER, there is a day dedicated to minimalism because I truly feel like if you can understand the concepts for yourself and for your own journey, it can really benefit you in so many other ways. And that's all I try to relay here. The reason why I want to talk to you about minimalism and luxury and the law of attraction is because these things kind of intertwine a little bit, or they cause some gray area where people have lots of questions or they have lots of opinions to voice. So in this video, personally, I just want to address my specific journey and what I've come to understand with minimalism, luxury, and law of attraction. As you know, about almost 2 years ago now, I began simplifying and minimizing my life to be able to move to Rome, Italy. So in this regard, I minimized my life down to 2 suitcases and I sold a lot of my things. I got rid of a lot of, let's say, designer bags, a lot of clothing that I had just purchased and that still had tags on it that was probably a little bit more on the pricier side. And in that process, minimizing those things, I realized that in that chapter in my life, or for those span of those years in my life, I was essentially not a conscious shopper. I would buy for the thrill, I would buy to get that little hit of adrenaline or just feel like I had something fresh and exciting to wear to brighten up my day because I personally wasn't in the most fulfilled and happy place. So after moving to Italy, I spent about 9 months au pairing, so I was living with a family, and in that time I was also working on my freelance stuff as well, if you know my story. Still lots of videos on that, so I won't get into it. But during that year, I felt very guilty going out and buying myself things. I was okay in the sense that I wanted to spend money on going to see different museums and different sites in Italy that you might have to pay to get into or pay to see, because I truly loved that so much. And when it came to, say, buying myself a sweater, I had a really hard time with it because I realized I had downsized so much that I didn't feel like worthy of anything new. It's probably hard to talk about, but basically it came winter time and I needed to buy winter clothes because I packed mostly warm things to bring to Italy and I didn't realize how cold it actually gets. So I had to buy myself a new kind of pea coat and also a sweater. But in this process, it was very difficult for me to say buy something for myself because I guess in ways I was concerned that maybe start falling back into making unconscious shopping decisions. And I realized this, I'd be at the till and I'd be like, should I, shouldn't I? And then I'm like, girl, it's cold outside, you kind of need a sweater. Let's not be ridiculous here. So I bought myself something. And then over this past summer, I did a lot of traveling and I bought myself some nice dresses and I refreshed my wardrobe. I refreshed my wardrobe because I had things in there like 6 years old and like not the best quality. I just had this whole minimalist idea that if I was going to obtain something new, it needed to be secondhand or it needed to be cheap. But really, if you are minimizing your life and you're going to wear these things all the time, which like I do, quality matters. And a lot of you had questions like, well, doesn't quality come with luxury? Like if you wanted a quality bag, isn't that more expensive? And yes, most of the time it is expensive, unless you're really good at thrifting, which some people really are and really enjoy that. I kind of find that process a little bit like, it's really kind of difficult for me. But if you do your research and you truly feel like you love something and it just so happens to be luxury or just so happens to be brand name, don't feel guilty about it. Because if it's something that you love and you know you're gonna get your wear out of it, it's fine. And I know in the past I talked about how I got rid of a Louis Vuitton bag and a Michael Kors bag and a Marc Jacobs bag and all these things. Those things I had no love, like emotional really attachment for, because they were just unconscious kind of grabs to me. They were something that I just wanted to show off. And it wasn't something that I felt reflected me as a person, and it wasn't a conscious decision on my part. It was not smart, as most of these purchases were done with money that could have better been put in other places, like to travel or to my student loan, etc., etc. Now in my life, I'm at a stage where, yes, I still essentially live out of 2 suitcases. That's what I own. And I have swapped clothing in and out. But any clothing that comes in, I make sure that I absolutely love it. I make sure that I love it and will get my wear out of it. That being said, if it happens to be a better brand, that's fine, because if it's good quality, it's going to last me. If I love it, I will wear it. We are all on our own journeys here, so something that I love might be very different from something that you love. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is luxury and the law of attraction. So what I was trying to get at there is I felt unworthy of kind of, let's say, the finer things in life or nicer things, because I was upset with myself for my unconscious shopping past, and also because I felt like, no, let's own nothing, let's try to own nothing. But you can go down the rabbit hole with minimalism and say veganism and all these different types of things so far down in the rabbit hole that if you realize, like, if you really wanted to live your life 150% minimalist, or say vegan, cruelty-free, ethical, all these types of things, you would essentially be living out in the woods naked. Like, let's be real here. What I've come to decide with minimalism is, for right now, I don't own, say, a condo, or I don't own a home, and 2 suitcases works perfectly fine for me. If I happen to have 2 cameras that I use all the time, that's fine. If I happen to have, like electronic equipment that I use for work all the time, that's fine. There's no need to downsize to one, because it's something I use on a regular basis. And moving forward to not just about clothing, let's get on to the topic of travel and luxury travel. And luxury, just luxury being around you. I love this quote, and it says, I'm gonna butcher it because I do that. I want to make everything around me beautiful, and that will be my life. You know, and I know that when you're surrounded by something that feels beautiful to you, like for example, I love to be in a white room, I love to wake up in white bedding, that feels beautiful to me. I love having a beautiful view, that feels beautiful to me. So if I want to surround myself with that, I shouldn't feel guilty. We are all entitled to live our best lives, and that's what I'm more and more discovering as I seem to be able to manifest more and more luxury into my life. And what I mean by that is more so in the means of travel. But or I guess in April, Anastasia and I made a trip to the Amalfi Coast. And Anastasia, as you know, is very much into law of attraction as well. So we wanted to go on this girls' trip for the long weekend, and we decided we were going to treat ourselves. I had never treated myself. Anytime that I would go to stay somewhere, was always in a hostel. It was always with a sense of lack, like, let's save as much as we can on accommodation and then spend it here, spend it there. But now, as I've become more and more aware of living in abundance and realizing that abundance is all around, I said, sure, let's treat ourselves. Which was, at that time, a little bit outside of my comfort zone, but I was excited to do so because I knew there was so much to be learned from Anastasia and law of attraction. So we went to stay in Amalfi Coast. We stayed in this beautiful villa with an indoor pool. I'll link the tour below. It was absolutely wonderful. To wake up and walk outside on a terrace and to be able to witness an amazing view like that, something in me had changed. Something in me changed to believe that it's okay to want. It's okay to want to give yourself your best life. It's not obnoxious. Something like first class on an airplane is still going to exist whether or not you decide against it. So why not try to manifest yourself into first class? Why not try to manifest yourself into first class on the train? I did that on my way here to Berlin, and I did that essentially. I arrived at this hotel and they upgraded me to the largest room. I had no play in that besides just feeling like I want to be comfortable. I want to be comfortable, I want to be surrounded by beautiful things, I want to be able to do my work in peace, and that's how the trip was. I took a train through the Alps, and I was in my own little silent little cubby, and it was beautiful. It was so beautiful, and it was an experience that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. And I know that experience was all the more special because I wasn't kind of crammed in, trying to work on my laptop, but also trying to look at the view. I had space. I was able to relax. Life should feel like that. And I think that a lot of people are hesitant when they're like, how is flying around in planes all the time minimalist, Zoe? And I was like, this is my journey. This is my journey. Flying around in planes, going on trains, traveling the world, that's my passion. That's what brings me joy, and that's what I'm pursuing as my life path. It's different from yours. And I know a lot of people might think, that's obnoxious, but it is my dreams, and I'm presenting them into a reality for myself. And again, with manifesting, I think a lot of people in life, they get to their goals and then they kind of can't really decide, well, what next? And I think that a really good tool with the law of attraction is to tell yourself, wouldn't it be nice if, say you have a trip planned to Venice. And you're like, well, I'm so excited to go to Venice. Wouldn't it be nice if we landed ourselves a free tour? Wouldn't it be nice if we had our room upgraded? Wouldn't it be nice if on the plane ride on the way there, something amazing happened? And, just keep playing in your mind like that. That's what law of attraction is all about. It's about bringing you back to that kid state, to imagine, to dream, and to really kind of design your life. You are a creator, so why not create what you desire, or what will grant you the most comfort, or what will be exciting for you? And the more and more you experience these moments of, say, being upgraded or being able to sit in luxury or first class, the more it becomes a reality to you. And once that becomes a reality to you, you know how it feels to have it, so you will continue to manifest it. So sometimes this obviously means stepping outside of your financial means or what you feel is comfortable to, say, book a really nice Airbnb in the Amalfi Coast. But in the future, it kind of comes back to you in tenfold. Like, I can't even explain to you, and I want to tell you a really, really exciting story, but I can't tell you yet because it's part of my big secret. But when Anastasia and I were in the Amalfi Coast, we talked the whole weekend about what we would most desire in our futures. And she said, if there was no limits, if there was just no kind of hesitations, what would you love to do? And I told her, and essentially I spoke it into existence, because 2 weeks later something came into my inbox and it was exactly what I spoke. And I'm saving the story for when I'm actually allowed to tell you guys, but just know that if you put yourselves into a situation that is beautiful, that you feel is beautiful, that grants you joy, and maybe that is wearing a coat that you think is beautiful, that you really love, that keeps you warm. Whatever beauty is to you, if you surround yourself with it, if you put yourself in that, you're just going to manifest more. And a lot of people ask me, well, how is minimalism law of attraction? How do you attract, if you only want, say, a suitcase full of things, how do you manifest more? Or how do you ask for more? What would the more be? And maybe the more is, when I look at my suitcase, maybe it's, okay, at this point, I need to buy a new sweater. I want to walk down the street and I want to find the perfect sweater easy for me, because I don't like shopping. I don't like going into malls. I don't like seeing all the people. It's daunting for me. So I'll give you a little example here again. So I really wanted a new black t-shirt because I left a black t-shirt in Toronto on accident somehow. I really wanted a new black t-shirt. I decided today I want the new black t-shirt. Walked down the street, found the black t-shirt. And then same with the Patrizia Pepe bag. I told you guys, I literally spoke this purse into an existence before I went out looking for it. So Anastasia and I always go on these manifestation walks where we walk around Rome and we talk about all the things. We essentially speak into the future. Like Tony Robbins calls them gratefulness walks, etc., etc. So this Patrizia Pepe bag, my black one, which is here, 1 second, I'll show you. This one here. It's black with a gold chain. As you may know, I had a silver bag and I wore it all summer and I broke it many times, and then finally I broke it the last time because I couldn't fix it anymore. And I told myself, instead of having a silver bag, I would like a black one. Instead of having a silver chain, I would like a gold chain. I want it to be thicker. I want this bag to be made of fabric, not leather. I want this, 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 and this. I walked down the street and Anastasia's like, let's go into Patrizia Pepe, I want to see. And I was like, okay. So we walk in there and there's the bag. I try on the bag and I was like, this is the bag. I essentially manifested it into my own life. I had no idea about this bag. I'd never walked into a Patrizia Pepe store before, and then I found this bag and I fell in love with it. And then I asked all my questions, of course, in the store. I found out it's made in Florence by an Italian designer, and then it has all the more special meaning to me. That's one way in which you can use the law of attraction to manifest more into your life by essentially, if there's something that you need, why not manifest something wonderful? Like, instead of me manifesting another bag that was at the same quality level, I'd manifested something a little bit more. I also had a price in my mind that I wanted to pay for this bag, and then I ended up paying that much. So that's how it works. And like I said, in travel, so you guys know I love to travel. I don't necessarily need to obtain, like, I wear a lot of black, but in the summertime I wear a lot of like colorful dresses. So I have my personal style, and I don't need to obtain any more clothing at this point. But travel is what I love to do. I want an abundance of travel in my life. I want an abundance of comfortable travel in my life. I want an abundance of luxury travel in my life. So this is where law of attraction comes in for me. And I want to challenge you today, I'm not going to ramble anymore about this, but please ask me many questions below. I would love to know if you have questions on anything that I've said, or like how to manifest, or what little tips and tricks are. But basically just keep moving forward in your own personal journey and disregard what other people say. Minimalism is, for me, the sense of finding joy and only inviting those things that bring you joy into your life. And that is what I wrote my book about, because minimalism is a journey for everyone. Like I said, if the goal was to own nothing, I mean, you might as well just strip down and run into the woods right now. So why not live your happiest and most joyful life, only surrounding yourself with the things that you truly love, that you truly use and get value out of, and that make you smile. Like I said, for me, this is travel. Right now in my life, I want an abundance of travel. So this is what I consciously put out into the universe all the time. And yeah, and I also want to live a life in Italy, to live in Italy for the rest of my life. That in itself is a total luxury. Finish the sentence for yourselves. Wouldn't it be nice if? And challenge yourself. Dare to dream big. Once I tell you the story from the Amalfi Coast, you guys are going to like, freak out. It's really cool. It's so cool. It's probably the biggest thing I've manifested. A lot of little things though that are so rewarding along the way. Anyways, stop rambling. So hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will talk to you again very soon. Lots of love.